Hey, welcome to the part 4 of the Calculate Client Security Hash video tutorial. So, the next activity that we need to work is how to create hash and retrieve the hash from the shawanonline.com. So now we need to create another new sequence, but now we need to uh, put this workflow inside the Shawan Online folder. And then let's name this sequence Shawan Online get hash code. So we need an input argument here for the information that we need to hash. So I'll just use hash, and then another out argument for the hash output. They're both in string argument type. So we need to start with the type into activity. So let's open the SHA-1 first manually. Okay, what's the SHA-1 URL? Okay, so let's indicate on the screen, and here what we need to put is the hash, and then make sure to check simulate type on the property panel, and then let's add a click activity. Make sure to check the simulate click, and then here we need to click the hash. Okay, now once you hash, let's add a dummy information here, hash. The next activity that we need to use is the get full text activity. Wait, let me just check something. Yeah, before you use a get full text activity, let me delete that for now. You need to have an attached browser, or else you will get an error. And now let's use the get full text activity and indicate the hash which we need to capture, and save the output to our out hash argument. And every time we create and capture a hash, we need to go back on the default page. So we need to use the go back activity. So it will just automatically click that button and go to the default page. So here in the type into, I think it's better if we empty the field before we type the new information to be hashed. So let's save that. So let's go to the process workflow, and now let's invoke that workflow that we just created. So let's get hash code, and here we need to indicate our input. So it should be the combination of client ID, name, and country. So to do that, you just need to do this. Oh no. And we need another variable here, so let's create one. Let's call it hash result. Oh, why I have an error? Let's see. Yeah, we're good on that now. Now we need to create a new sequence that will update the work items. Okay. So let's name it update work item, and it should be within the system1 folder. So here we need two types of argument. First one is the status, and the next one is the comment. Comment is the hash code. Save that. So the first activity that we need to add is a click activity. So click this button, make sure to check simulate click, and then once that button is clicked, there will be a pop-up window in here. So we need to use type into, and select this box. Let me just check the selector. Yeah, I think we're good on that, and it should be the IN comment. And make sure to check the simulate tab on the property panel. And we also need to update the status, so we need to use select item, indicate that. So this error is expected, so just capture any screenshot, and then we'll need to modify the selector into a correct one. So to do that, you need to use the UI Explorer. And let's indicate that element again, and we need to locate the select tag. So double click this, and this should be the selector that you have for the select item activity. So copy that, close this one, and update the selector of the select item activity. Validate, and it worked. So the select item should be whatever on the IN status argument. So if it's completed, it should select completed. And then we'll need to add another click activity. To click this button, and make sure to check simulate click property. And once you click that, there will be a confirmation message. So let's use a dummy data first. Yeah, so we will be expecting this message from web page pop-up, so we need to click that as well. So let's indicate that button. Let me just check the selector. Let's simulate click, and we should be good. And after that, after we click this message box, we need to close this. So let's add another click and indicate that. Oh, why it's not selecting the close button? Okay, so I think you can do that on your PC. I'm not sure why I can select this, so let me try to use UI selector. to select that element. Oh, it's not selecting as well. Why? Okay, I think I can use the click after delay, so I will be using F2. Let me check. No, it was not able to capture it correctly. Yeah, having problem on this. So let me just check on my other PC. Um, the correct selector. I think that's because of the version of my Internet Explorer. This one is correct until here, but there's a new line here. So it's a control IDX. Apologize if you can hear the dog barking on my background. So you should be able to capture this on your PC if you have a different IE version. Oh, it's not validating. Why? Can I not select this? I'm not sure what's the problem with this. No. Why I cannot click that? Let me try to use. Let me try to use a touch browser. Let me check the selector. And here, I need to close. Let's close window 4. No. Let's use close tab instead, so I hope this one worked. So let me test. Let's add a default value. And let's try to run the sequence. Let me just check it. Okay, let's try to run the sequence and see if it works. Yeah, it works. But you can follow what's on the PDF. I'm just having a problem with my IE version on this PC. So, okay, let's move on to the next activity. So let's go back to the process workflow and invoke that one that we just created. Update work item. Okay, I think I forgot to remove the default value. Yeah. Save it, and here we need to bind the arguments. So input status, I believe it's always completed. There's no specific instruction for this. IN comment should be whatever the value of the hash result variable. Okay. And then we need to create another sequence that will navigate to the dashboard page. So let's quickly do that. Navigate dashboard. Let's put that inside the system1 folder. So this should be just a quick. We just need an attached browser activity. Capture that page. And make sure to update this selector to a wildcard. So we can make this flexible. And the next one is click. We need to click this link so it will go back to the dashboard page. And that's all for this sequence, so make sure to save that and invoke that. Where is that? Navigate to dashboard. Yeah. Okay. So now I think everything is completed. So let's see. I think we can now test it. So as advised on the PDF file, make sure to reset test data. So it will be a fresh work item list later. Okay, I think we should close this one now, and I hope I did not forget anything here. I think one last thing is the increment. So to do that, go to the main workflow. Here on the get transaction data, we need to increment the transaction number. So how to do that is by using an assign sequence here, and let's say transaction number is equals to transaction number plus 1. Yeah, and make sure to save that. Now we're about to test. Yes. Okay, let's run this now. Oops. Yeah, the first job of this bot is to retrieve all the work items and save it to a data table argument or variable. So that's the data scraping that we did earlier. I'm not sure what's happening right now. I want to even touch my mouse. let the automation work for us. Yeah, it was able to close the system 1 application, and now it's navigating back to system 1, I think, to process all the work items. Okay, we had an error there. Really? Yeah. Let's look on the output table. If a new item is special and value cannot be null. Oh, I think we did not pass the work item. Yeah. Okay, where's that variable? This WA list, we need to make sure that's under a general business scope, or else you will not be able to access that from other workflows. So that's why we have an error. And I did not bind that here on the get transaction data. So here on the DTO work items, we need to input that. Is there any error? None. Save it, and this is how how automation work. We need to test it back again from the start. Okay, let's try to run it again. Okay, done extracting the work items. Now it needs to process all the work items under WI5 type. So it opened the Acme System 1, the SHA-1 online first. First item is Kamala, Germany. So update the work item. Yeah, I think we can just see what it is doing on the SHA-1 online page because it's on the background, but you can notice that the hash is changing. If you will monitor it, it's BO3. Then the next item, let's see, yeah, it's 2277. So the SHA-1 hash process is only working on the background. So I think there's a way to fix that. So let's just stop this for now, and I want to show you what's happening in the background. So let's check. So as you can see here in the work items, there are items that were already completed under the WI pipe. So we need to reset that data. So we can process again all those items. So no completed right now. And again, to show you what's happening on each work or on each website, what we can do here is, let's go to the process workflow. So navigate to work detail, extract client information. So here, let's just add an activate activity before we go on to SHA-1. No, we need the SHA-1. Yeah, activate this page. And same thing when you go back to the system 1. So let's activate this page as well. Okay, can I not select it? Hey, why? Let's check. Let's remove this one and use a wildcard instead. Okay, and now let's test again. Save that and go to the main workflow and then run. So I think we made it. We have completed it. So just make sure to follow the instruction completely, especially those formula for getting the client information and changing always the argument type and the variable type of all the variable and argument that we will be using. If it's connected to another workflow, make sure that they have the same data type or argument type. So once it is completed, once our bot once this robot is completed processing all the work items, we should be expecting that all items under UiPath type has a completed status. And I hope we did not receive an error on this test run. If you have any question, just put that on the comment section of this video. Okay, now we can show what's happening on SHA-1 Online. So I let it finish all the items that we have in here. And later we will validate if it was able to process all the items under UiPath type. I think it is much faster if we did not add the activate activity, but to show you that it's work, I added those activity. because as long as you use the simulate type, simulate click property, uh, your tool can even if the site is in the background, the UiPath can still control it and trigger the elements inside those websites. You are free to fast forward fast forward this video if you want. I just want to make sure that there will be no error that my program or my this project will encounter on this test. And it's completed. So here I'm not expecting an error because since we increment the transaction number once it reached the last transaction number, and if there's no index referring to the transaction number, we will really receive this error. But it is successful. So to validate that, let's go on to, let me check if I'm still logged in. Let's go to SHA-1 and validate if all item under WI5 is under the completed status. So yes for page 1, good for page 2. No WI5 in here. Yes. Yes, we were able to process all the WI5. So that's all for this exercise. I hope that you will be able to solve now if you are on the same, excuse me, exercise as well. So if you have any question, please put that in the comment section of this video. Thank you for watching, and